Hello. Well, I suppose I should. This background I might be using for a while. I'm doing a video. This background I might be using for a while. So that's the kitchen attachment of this condominium, and there is the main room. And there's Mr. Sanchez, who you can see is not happy because he's not getting attention. And then back there, back there are the bedrooms. And here's this very nice table that I have for studying. So that's where I am. And I have this book, and I keep it with me. It's a nice little book hinge. Kind of came off. I'll have to glue that. But when I have ideas that I think it'd be cool for videos, I write them down so that I don't forget. Because there's been several times where I have this idea and I'm like, wow, that'd make a really cool video. And then I just forget. So the one idea that I thought would be really cool to do a video about that I was too afraid to deal with is this point about masculinity and strength. For quite a while in my life, I've lived with this illusion that if I hold myself a certain way, then I'll be able to control others with fear. Which is really just me trying to put my fear onto other people and then manipulate them with the same fear that I have so that I don't have to face myself. That's masculinity. Well, that's one part of masculinity. That's how masculinity works with fear, is dominance. Which is really interesting because masculinity has nothing to do with strength in any sense of the word, because masculinity is actually a very weak thing. It's very easily subject to change. It's very sensitive. That's why masculinity requires to always be defending itself. Which is just like completely topsy-turvy, because that makes femininity actually a more strong and stable thing than masculinity in practice. Maybe that's why there's less female suicides. So then what's strength? What is actually strong? Actual strength is like being able to have some shit come up and then be able to deal with it and remain stable. That means that real strength has nothing to do with that form of control, which is just that masculinity was just like a way to suppress myself so that I can control other people and not have to deal with who I really am. So strength is stability and the ability to actually see what's coming up in me and what's going on inside of me and how I'm reacting to my environment, and then be able to see that and see how it's a problem and then stop myself and then really just let it go and not go into self-judgment or anything else where it's, oh, I'm not good enough, what's wrong with me, why can't I get this? Instead of doing that kind of stuff, I can just stop and remain stable with me here in the moment. Because if I'm stable here in the moment for real, then it doesn't really matter what's going to come up. Fear is totally unnecessary because I know now that I'm going to be able to handle these things when they come up, because they're just going to be coming up here, and I'm already here dealing with myself, so it doesn't matter if fireworks start going off because they're just coming here to me. So that makes like effective self-forgiveness and self-honesty actual strength instead of masculinity. Yeah, I mean, just take a look at how insecure masculinity is at heart, that whole male ego, and it's not strength. Okay, goodbye.